Tonight, inside a northern community with a massive raging wildfire on its doorstep.
They have hoses laid all over the town, sprinklers up on the houses.
The efforts to save Fort Providence and protect those left behind.
Is my house still going to be standing up when I get home?
As hundreds suddenly forced to flee, now anxiously wait. A devastating earthquake in Afghanistan, more than 800 dead, thousands injured.
The system is strained, hospitals are overloaded.
The scramble to remote areas where more are believed to be trapped. An online vitriol aimed at the man from this viral moment at the U.S. Open.
He's a CEO from Poland. He steals the hat from this kid.
Why he says he snatched that hat.
From CBC News, this is The National with Chief Correspondent Adrian Arsenault.
Thanks for joining us. The fight is on in the Northwest Territories to try to save the hamlet of Fort Providence from a huge wildfire burning towards it. It has now reached within a kilometer of the community. Fire crews are trying to stop it in its track, cutting fire breaks and soaking homes near the community's edge as more people are urged to get out fast. Now, Fort Providence is home to about 700 people, about a 3-hour drive from Yellowknife. Most of them are now sheltering in Hay River. There, residents are hungry, obviously, for details and very worried about what is happening at home. Tonight, Juanita Taylor shows us what is happening inside Fort Providence on the fire's edge.
This is just some of the work underway to protect the community of Fort Providence from the raging fire on its doorstep.
And these cats are working here. They're tight lining the fire.
Bulldozers cutting a fire break between the hamlet and the flames. Driving this one, the mayor.
They have hoses laid all over the town, sprinklers up on the houses, especially the houses, what we call the back street along the tree line.
The wildfire is pushing towards town. This video was taken 2 days ago. The flames are closer now. Some essential workers ordered out Monday, a day after residents were told to flee to Hay River, 180 kilometers away, for safety.
It's so emotional.
Ruby Mendoza worries for her son, who stayed to fight the fire. She's caring for her granddaughter and waiting anxiously.
I was thinking, am I going to go home? Is my house still going to be standing up when I get home? Or my grandkids are going to have a house to go home to?
This is all Gregory Elisi brought with him when he left Sunday morning.
There's this big ashes falling down. Oh my God, it's just nothing but ashes all over the place. Really unbelievable.
He's deeply worried about the pets still at home.
Some of my animals are out there too. I got puppies too. I got 6 of them.
Officials say they are looking out for any animals still in Fort Providence. This is one of dozens of wildfires burning in the Northwest Territories.
Premier?
The Premier wants to see more federal support.
We're a small jurisdiction and we can only handle so much. We only have so much capacity. But with the world the way it is, with climate change and the frequency and severity of these disasters, it's tough. We're stretched.
Mayor Danny Bolio says he understands it's hard for his residents to be away from home, but that everything is okay in Fort Providence.
And Juanita, there's so much worry about the flames reaching town. What are fire officials saying tonight?
Yeah, well, they're saying that shouldn't happen tonight. Light winds today bought crews more time to strengthen the fire break. Now, come midweek, winds are supposed to pick up again and blow towards Fort Providence. But the territory has called the Canadian Interagency Forest Fire Centre to ask for more crews and for more aircraft to help fight this fire. Adrian?
All right, thank you. That's Juanita Taylor in Hay River. Dozens of young fire evacuees in Nova Scotia are heading back to class this week, and schools are preparing to meet them with extra supplies, counselors, and some compassion. Julia Wong with the toll, experts say these wildfires can take on kids.
With the Long Lake wildfire still burning out of control in Nova Scotia's Annapolis Valley, back to school is not going to be the same for Jonathan Gillis's 3 children.
Routines are totally different.
Close to 3 weeks ago, the family fled their home. Gillis's kids are among roughly 30 students still under the evacuation order, and school starts Thursday.
I'd say anxious would be the word I'd use. They're more, my kids anyway, worried about their friends. They have friends they go to school with who are people that lost their home.
The school division says it's supporting kids by adjusting bus routes so students can still go to their regular school. It will also make sure kids have backpacks and school supplies and have counselors available. Being displaced can be stressful, says this psychologist.
It takes you out of the security and routine that a home can provide. This will be very difficult and discombobulating.
He says anxiety, depression, and trauma could creep in, and parents should be proactive.
One good strategy would be to implement regular routines and schedules as soon as possible.
You're going to have games and washer toss and probably a barbecue.
The county has hosted events for young evacuees to give them some normalcy.
Bad enough going from summer to school, you have a different routine again, but now to do a different routine from wherever you're at, whether it's a camper or a hotel or friends and family, it's not the same. So we're hoping to just bring some positivity.
There's still no timeline for when evacuees could go home, but the deputy warden says planning is underway for the eventual re-entry once the fire is under control. Julia Wong, CBC News, Annapolis Royal, Nova Scotia.
Parts of Alberta and Saskatchewan are under air quality warnings tonight because of wildfire smoke. This was the view in Edmonton today as thick smoke reduced visibility in central and northern Alberta, according to Environment Canada. Saskatoon was rated as very high risk today. Officials advise limiting your time spent outdoors. Well, Prime Minister Mark Carney is pledging support for Afghanistan in the wake of a devastating earthquake that killed more than 800 people in a remote mountainous area. The ruling Taliban is appealing for international help. Chris Brown shows us how badly it's needed.
Afghanistan, one of the world's poorest countries beset by multiple crises and disasters, has been struck by yet another. The magnitude 6 earthquake hit in Kunar province near the border with Pakistan overnight, reducing entire villages to dried mud brick rubble as people slept. For my own family, 5 nephews and 2 nieces were martyred, along with one of my aunts, said Hekmatullah. The number of dead and injured is very high. The remoteness of the area meant helicopters were the only way to get survivors to hospital in Jalalabad. This injured 16-year-old said all the roofs collapsed. The Taliban, a regime internationally shunned for its horrible treatment of women and human rights abuses, put out a plea for help. And UN agencies said they're responding.
It is absolutely heartbreaking.
UNICEF said with the epicenter a 3-hour hike on foot, its rescue teams were carrying in relief supplies.
We're sending out winter clothes now, because just any clothes for anyone. We're sending out what we call family kits. These are sort of boxes of kitchen supplies, hygiene supplies.
Hospitals near the quake zone were left in chaos. Foreign aid has dried up, especially in the last year, creating a funding crisis, says Samira Syed Rahman, a Canadian working for Save the Children.
The system is strained. Hospitals are overloaded. There's no medicine. There's not enough ambulances. There's not enough resources to be able to respond to an emergency like this.
The widespread fear is that as rescue teams penetrate deeper into the disaster area, they'll find more people trapped or buried in their homes, and the number of victims will increase, likely dramatically. Chris Brown, CBC News, London.
In the United States, police say an 11-year-old boy was shot and killed in Texas on the weekend after ringing the doorbell of a home, then running away.
They were playing a game of Ding Dong Ditch, and at which point the person inside that house came out and shot.
There's no way you can mistake that kid for somebody grown, and that's what hurts so bad.
Police say the boy was in a group that was pranking homes and that he was hit multiple times. Police say the shooter will likely face a murder charge. Canada's Food Inspection Agency is facing criticism tonight for failing to punish large grocery chains that falsely label products as Canadian. As Sophia Harris found out, the number of complaints has grown, and so has the frustration.
Brenda Nichols is committed to the Buy Canadian movement, so she wasn't happy when, at a Loblaw-owned store last month, she discovered this: asparagus displayed with a maple leaf, plus prepared in Canada and product of Canada declarations, but the tag said produce of Peru, distributed by an American company.
The product of Canada label just seemed to be slapped arbitrarily, and it's misleading.
The Canadian Food Inspection Agency says it has been flooded with similar complaints about country of origin claims, 160 since January. The food regulator has already identified 12 violations between February and May where grocers promoted imported food with Canadian branding. All but one of the cases involved national grocery chains. No fines were issued.
The CFIA needs to step up and start levying fines, putting some pressure so that there will be some changes at the grocery store.
Sheila Young agrees. She filed one of the CFIA complaints after discovering at this Sobeys owned store Sobeys brand avocado oil displayed with a maple leaf and a product of Canada declaration, even though the product is imported.
And that's maple washing. A fine's what needed to reinforce that they need to be accountable and responsible for their labeling.
Sobeys and Loblaw told CBC News they strive for accurate country of origin labeling, but that mistakes can happen when managing large inventories and frequently changing suppliers.
At a certain point, you say enough is enough.
This marketing professor says repeat offenders should face consequences.
If there aren't any fines despite repeated violations, it becomes that the regulations have no teeth.
The CFIA says in all of the cases, the grocer fixed the problem. However, there may be more problems to come. The CFIA is still sifting through its many complaints about country of origin claims for food. Sophia Harris, CBC News, Toronto.
And there were some disappointed shoppers in Edmonton today when a new Zellers store that was supposed to open didn't.
We just need everybody to move away from the entrance here. We're just going to try and clear everybody out of here.
Fans of the Canadian department store had lined up in anticipation, but for unknown reasons, the grand opening was delayed for a second time.
If it's delayed for another week, well, we're just going to have to come back to Zellers. Oh, definitely.
The Edmonton store is the first new standalone Zellers in more than a decade. The last stores closed in 2020, though the brand had been incorporated inside some Hudson Bay locations in recent years. A mall spokesperson told CBC News the launch will happen later this month. Well, as of today, most of Canada's counter tariffs on U.S. goods are gone. In August, Prime Minister Mark Carney said the tariffs on some $60 billion of U.S. goods would be lifted September the 1st, arguing they were blocking progress on talks with Washington. Retaliatory tariffs on non-CUSMA compliant goods and on sectors such as steel and aluminum remain in place. Now, lifting the tariffs is popular with business leaders, not so with unions who've called it a betrayal of Canadian workers and an invitation for more U.S. aggression. Marina von Stackelberg shows us this Labor Day, their concerns do not end there.
It's a day to celebrate the labor movement's wins, but it hasn't been an easy year.
We're facing job losses because of the trade war. Cost of living continues to go up and people are feeling squeezed by that.
Those conditions have spurred more strikes, labor action this country hasn't seen in decades. That has also led to more government intervention.
Bonjour tout le monde.
With the federal Liberals ordering striking employees back to work over and over.
A number of decisions that the Prime Minister has made has put him in a very difficult relationship with workers.
That includes Mark Carney's order to find 15% budget cuts in the federal civil service. Unions say job losses have already started.
Absolutely, we're preparing for the fight that's ahead.
In a statement, the Prime Minister's office says it's working with unions, building Canada strong, and workers are at the heart of this mission. Carney focused his campaign on supporting Canadian jobs.
He used us as a backdrop for photo ops, but now when the rubber hits the road, he's not there to actually protect workers. And lip service, the movement is done with lip service.
There is growing pushback, like Air Canada's flight attendants' recent choice to defy Ottawa's back-to-work order. Moves like that show Labour is at a turning point, this expert says.
That could set a new precedent for other unions to continue to fight, but it also is going to push the federal government to find other ways to order workers back to work.
This all comes as the political voice for the Labour movement here in the capital, the NDP, has been significantly weakened in the House of Commons. Last election, the New Democrats only held on to 7 of their seats. The race to replace their leader begins this week. Marina von Stackelberg, CBC News, Ottawa.
Officials say the plane carrying the head of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, was hit by a GPS jamming signal mid-flight over Bulgaria.
They suspect that this was due to blatant interference by Russia.
Von der Leyen landed safely, though the plane had to use some alternate navigation aids. Several countries bordering on Russia have reported increasing electronic interference. Von der Leyen is now visiting them as part of a tour to bolster defense readiness. At the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit, another round of handshakes and some closely whispered conversations between the leaders of China, India, and Russia surely sent a signal. As Lisa Xing explains, it's an attempt to project a unified alternative to a West divided.
Like old friends, Russian President Vladimir Putin and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi cemented a bond and sent a message. We have developed cooperation at various levels, said Putin, during a meeting with Modi on the sidelines of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit in Tianjin, China. A signal New Delhi is moving toward Beijing and its allies over the West, a country once wooed by the U.S., an alternative to Chinese manufacturing, upended as Donald Trump on Truth Social leveraged his 50% tariffs on India, punishment for buying Russian oil. Our close cooperation with Russia matters not only for the peoples of our two nations, but also for ensuring global peace, stability, and prosperity, said Modi. The alliance, a boon to China's aspirations to rebalance global power. The Cold War mentality and protectionism continue to haunt the world, said Chinese President Xi Jinping, seemingly taking aim at the U.S. This year, Xi hosted leaders from the 10-nation organization, including Iran, Belarus, and Pakistan, and more than a dozen observer states, together representing roughly half of the world's population. He announced plans for a development bank, pledged billions in loans to organization members, a flex of its economic power as the U.S. has antagonized the world with its tariff policy.
President Trump's action are pushing India and other countries who are a little bit more on the fence closer into alignment with China and others, not necessarily because, again, they trust China, but because they feel like they need to hedge their bets.
Even so, it means U.S. influence could wane around the world. And as Modi leaves the summit, Xi and Putin will be joined by North Korean leader Kim Jong-un at a military parade later this week. Lisa Xing, CBC News, Washington.
Indigenous actor Graham Greene is being remembered tonight for his Oscar-nominated role in Dances with Wolves.
Danke. Danke. Tatanka. Tanka. Here. Tatanka.
He had substantial roles in other Hollywood movies and also worked in Canadian television and live theater. His agent writing, "It's with deep sadness we announce the peaceful passing of award-winning legendary Canadian actor Graham Greene." Graham passed away today in Stratford, Ontario, of natural causes. He was 73. Well, Venus Williams and Canadian Leylah Fernandez have done it again, advancing to the quarterfinal of the U.S. Open.
Fernandez finishes it off.
How the unlikely duo have become the talk of the tournament. A viral moment for the wrong reasons.
This piece of, he's a CEO from Poland. He steals the hat from this kid.
What the hat snatcher has to say now. And becoming a StairMaster master.
You just got to take it one step at a time.
We're back in 2. Oh, that was good. That is Canada's Félix Auger-Aliassime advancing to the quarterfinals of the U.S. Open after beating 15th seed Andrei Rublev of Russia in straight sets. This is the furthest Auger-Aliassime has gone in a Grand Slam since 2022. And Canadian Leylah Fernandez is also celebrating tonight after advancing in the doubles bracket alongside superstar Venus Williams. Alexander Silberman now with a winning partnership that was created on a whim.
A commanding win for an unexpected team.
The Venus and Leylah show.
Rising Canadian star Leylah Fernandez pairing up with tennis legend Venus Williams.
Another fabulous victory.
Winning a third straight match at the U.S. Open.
We're on the same wavelength and hopefully we can keep it going.
45-year-old Williams and 22-year-old Fernandez had never played together until last week, teaming up after Williams reached out hours before the tournament draw.
I was like a kid on Christmas Day, just jumping around.
Big opportunity.
Williams, a 14-time Grand Slam women's doubles champion, now close to her best doubles result in a decade.
I'm used to being the big sister, so, I'm kind of like asking her what she wants.
Serena Williams, jokingly jealous about her sister's new doubles partner. Tennis fans and players here in Canada are watching closely, captivated by the team and their unlikely success.
It's amazing to get to see her play with Venus. I love watching the two of them on the court. It's awesome. It's so good to see Canadians go far.
This Regina couple met Fernandez years ago when one of their daughters had the chance to face her in a match.
It's really fun to have, seen her play when she's little and then have the opportunity to see her excel and succeed so well.
It's cool to see that she's making it big in the tennis world.
Fernandez says Williams' love for the sport fuels her ambition. Williams even bringing back her signature twirl and wave.
Seeing you play on court with the same big smile that you had back then, it's so inspirational. It motivates me to keep going.
The team is now set to play in the quarterfinals. Inexperienced as a pair, but with a fighting spirit proving to be a winning match so far. Alexander Silberman, CBC News, Regina.
Well, a CEO who was caught on camera snagging tennis memorabilia away from a child is finally apologizing.
When I saw the video of the guy pulling that cap away from the kid, I literally did this.
How he's explaining himself after a wave of backlash. Claims of programs that can beat ALS, giving some patients hope and then leaving them devastated.
If this individual really could do this, I promise you, we would hear about it.
CBC News investigates. The National breaks down the story shaping our world. Next. A CEO from Poland is apologizing tonight after snatching a hat intended for a young fan at the U.S. Open. The video went viral, and as Lindsay Duncombe shows us, so did the backlash.
It happened after an upset victory. Polish tennis star Kamil Majchrzak defeated his Russian opponent, met with fans, then this. Watch that again. The tennis star takes off his hat, appears to give it to the boy, but it's snatched by the man beside him and tucked away into the purse of the woman with him. Cue the viral outrage.
Let me introduce you to Douchebag of the Week.
This piece of he's a CEO from Poland. He steals the hat from this kid.
His character was revealed for all of us to see, and it is not looking good.
The hat thief has been identified as Piotr Tatarek, the wealthy head of a Polish pavement company. He says he believed the hat was meant for his sons. His apology came days after the incident. He said, "I take full responsibility for my extremely poor judgment and hurtful actions," adding he returned the hat to the boy to repair the harm I caused. Turns out, the kid ended up with 2 hats. Through social media, the tennis star tracked him down and gave him another.
When I saw the video of the guy pulling that cap away from the kid, I literally did this.
Renu Bakshi advises clients about how to communicate in a crisis.
Oh, look at these two.
She says what happened on the tennis court is not all that different from the viral reaction earlier this summer when a CEO and an HR employee were caught on camera at a Coldplay concert.
Nothing is private anymore. Everything is public. People are listening. People are recording. You just never know when you're going to end up going viral.
And while a quick apology is a good way to control damage after a viral moment, she says the best way to avoid negative attention, don't behave poorly in the first place. Lindsay Duncombe, CBC News, Vancouver.
Now it's time to dig deeper into the stories shaping our world. The owner of a Saskatchewan clinic is promising to reverse symptoms of ALS. Well, tonight, another look at Jeff Leo's investigation of the cost to patients and families who are chasing hope.
ALS is a rare disease with a devastatingly certain outcome.
You're just gonna slowly die.
Leave it to God, right?
The desperation prompts some to hunt for a cure.
There were, rabbit holes that we would go down on a nightly basis.
You are willing to try just about anything.
And then, a flicker of hope.
Hi, I'm Dr. Dane Goodnow.
The sales pitch is extraordinary. Unheard of, really.
Stopping the progression of ALS actually isn't that hard.
He promises clients that symptoms will stop progressing within weeks, and then they'll start getting better.
You're not going to die of ALS in our care. So that's just about honest truth.
But some say it's all too good to be true.
It's just so exploitive, just phenomenally exploitive that it's hard not, to feel the rage.
Well into his 60s, Jeff Sandos was game for almost anything. He's the father of 2, the founder and CEO of multiple companies, and an avid golfer. A year and a half ago, while out for a walk, his wife Teresa made a casual observation.
I started noticing that he was walking kind of strange.
I was actually getting a little upset, if I'm being honest, that she was pointing it out.
But then he could not ignore it. The condition worsened, and after months of testing and poking and prodding, Jeff's neurologist called a meeting. That was just over 1 year ago.
It was pretty devastating when he tells you you have something that there is no cure for, and you're just gonna slowly die. That was dramatic.
Initially, Jeff was crushed, hopeless, but then he decided to take action. Over the next few months, he and his family researched and tried many options. Then one of his caregivers recommended the Dr. Goodnow Restorative Health Center in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan.
Doctors are saying, yes, sell your home if you have to. Get there.
Dan Goodnow is not a medical doctor, but he does have a PhD in medical science, focused on psychiatry. Since the early 2000s, he's a listed author on dozens of academic articles on a range of topics from cancer to Alzheimer's. His website calls him a world-renowned neuroscientist. Goodnow claims he can restore health to people suffering from those conditions.
Recovering from disease is just people think you're crazy to even say it out loud.
I'm here to talk to you about... Goodnow's program is built around plasmalogens, fats which form a crucial part of the cell membrane. Goodnow says they are critical for brain health, but people with neurodegenerative diseases have a deficit. In a recent podcast, he said his supplements can turn things around.
If you actually provide the cells of the human body with the ingredients that they need, and then put yourself into an environment that stimulates that adaptability, the body will fix itself.
Jeff and Teresa were hooked, and soon they were on a call with Tracy Zimmerman, Goodnow's chief business officer. Teresa recorded the call in order to keep track of the details.
We do have a 100% success rate in stopping the progression and restoring function of people with ALS. It's something that we protect and we covet, right? And what we think is that your cells are going to improve and everything is going to get better, that it will regenerate. And Jeff, we expect you to get stronger.
They offered Jeff their 4-month program to set him on the path to recovery. The first 3 months would be spent here at the Dr. Goodnow Restorative Health Center in Moose Jaw, where he'd receive large doses of Goodnow's plasmalogens along with many other supplements, all in a community with other ALS clients.
It's not a fancy place. Like, we call this place boot camp. Like, this is rehab.
The final month, the patient would spend at home receiving the supplements and support from Goodnow's staff. The recovery center is billed as a restful place for healing where everything would be taken care of. The total cost of the program, $75,000 US. Jeff and Teresa were sold, and in September of 2024, they got on a plane and headed for Moose Jaw.
Welcome to the Restorative Health Center here in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan.
This building right on the edge of town used to be a hotel and then, more recently, a drug rehab center. Now it houses people who are hoping to recover from their debilitating diseases. Dr. Goodnow admits the building is not ideal. For example, the only way to get to the second floor are these stairs.
We always laugh about the stairs, right? People say, Dayan, when are you going to put an elevator in your facility?
But he says the stairs are part of the program, an incentive to recover.
They'll come in not being able to walk or basically being able to get out of a wheelchair. And the goal is, within 3 months, is to get them walking upstairs.
Goodnow put Jeff and all of the other ALS patients on a daily protocol of supplements, including his patented plasmalogens. A handout lists the pills they were supposed to take. At the bottom was a footnote. This is a self-directed program.
We're here as a self-directed research process. People come in of their own voluntary will and they develop programs for themselves.
That's exactly the opposite of why I went to him. I went to him because he's the supposedly neuroscientist.
For decades, Dr. Goodnow has been developing supplements and a program that he says will halt and reverse the progress of ALS symptoms, which is something no other scientist that we've found has claimed. And then he tells patients they're supposed to develop a program of their own.
This is very, very careful language, which we often see with these clinics.
This is a really good example of what's ultimately nothing but a marketing scam.
Timothy Caulfield is a law professor at the University of Alberta, focusing on legal and ethical issues in medical research. He has hosted a documentary series debunking medical claims he believes are bogus. He says Dr. Goodnow appears to be following a familiar pattern.
He wants to avoid the claim that he's providing medicine, right? And his defense will be, well, I'm not acting, I'm just providing these people with information and they're doing it themselves.
Caulfield has reviewed Goodnow's website, and he says it all seems too good to be true.
If this individual really could do this, I promise you, we would hear about it, right? This secret treatment would not be secret.
Coming up after the break.
I really thank you for taking the time and seeking me out.
Questions and tensions mount as we push for answers. His wife says his ALS symptoms got far, far worse.
You're saying that his own words, his own personal description of his own life is wrong.
Hi, I'm Dr. Dayan Goodnow, neuroscientist and inventor. And if you are suffering from ALS, or you're caring for someone suffering from ALS, I want to talk to you.
On his website, he has claimed his treatment involving plasmalogen supplements can halt the progression of ALS symptoms and reverse them.
People are beating this disease. If you understand the science and you act on the science.
In a sales call, Goodnow's chief business officer, Tracy Zimmerman, told one couple that the fix for ALS is actually well known in the scientific community.
It's sad, but the scientists have actually known how to reverse ALS for decades. The same companies that profit off of you being sick are not going to be the companies that are going to bring you a cure. And anyone who believes that is deluding themselves.
The ALS Society of Canada says the disease is not curable, and the known treatments do not significantly alter the progression of the disease. David Taylor is the organization's chief scientific officer. He says he's seen no evidence to indicate that plasmalogens are some sort of ALS breakthrough.
There is not yet a lot of information or data to suggest that plasmalogens is a known effective treatment for ALS. Being very well plugged into the clinicians and researchers around the world who work on ALS every day, I don't think any of them are aware of this individual.
I really thank you for taking the time and seeking me out.
Earlier this year, I sat down with Dr. Goodenow for a series of video chats to learn more about his claims and the evidence for them.
This will be standard of practice for the treatment of ALS. Absolutely, 100%.
Typically, when scientists make claims to revolutionary breakthroughs, they point to peer-reviewed studies, rigorous research that has been independently verified.
Have you done any studies that would demonstrate that you can halt or reverse the progress of ALS in patients? Any published studies?
Not published at this point in time.
So if there are no published studies, what evidence does Goodenow cite? He points to patients who are feeling better. During our tour of his Moose Jaw facility, we spoke with Scott Myers, a 65-year-old ALS patient from Akron, Ohio.
Seriously, within the first week, I don't know if it was psychosomatic, but I had recovered the last movements that I had lost, a couple weeks prior to that.
Hi. My name's Corey Mitchell, 49 years old.
Goodenow also highlights Corey Mitchell's story.
The disease has completely stopped, and I'm now starting to feel like time is on my side.
What conclusion, scientifically, do you draw from Corey's story?
Clearly, the progression, the actual progression of the disease can be stopped. Fundamentally, unambiguously, his progression stopped. It only takes one person to get better to falsify the hypothesis that this is a disease that cannot be reversed.
Taylor finds this unconvincing. He says ALS does not take a linear path. He says it's common for patients to hit plateaus where their symptoms stabilize or even improve. In addition, he points out that sometimes improvement can be attributed to a placebo effect.
It is well known that in any form of medicine, people who spend a lot of money, who go through a regimen that is more invasive, who have any kind of promises associated with a particular therapy, that those individuals do better with their disease.
Come on. Come here.
Jennifer Hoff is Corey Mitchell's partner. She went to Moose Jaw with him, and she watched him improve. She says it may have been due to Goodenow's supplements, but it could also have been his improved diet and reduced stress. She says Goodenow left no doubt as to his interpretation of Corey's condition.
But he literally told him, you've beat ALS, you're in recovery phase. Now we just have to work on building your muscles.
She and Corey agreed to help promote the program. Goodenow paid them $2,000 a month to field phone calls from his prospective clients.
We're getting bombarded with phone numbers of all these people. Hey, can you talk to so-and-so about, the Moose Jaw? What was your experience? Share your experience.
She says last fall, Corey's ALS symptoms accelerated again. His voice was too rough to get on the phone with prospective clients. She called Goodenow to ask for advice.
Not even a phone call back. And that's when I started to, be like, something's not right here.
So with regard to Corey, you were able to stop and then reverse the progression.
Correct.
And how's he doing now?
He's not doing well. He died about a year ago.
Corey passed away on October 21st, 2024, about 8 months after leaving the Moose Jaw program.
After he passed, I called. I left urgent messages. Nothing. Not even a phone call back.
Though Goodnow hadn't seen Corey for months prior to his death, he is certain of one thing.
What he died from wasn't from ALS progression. He died from other causes.
That's a flat-out lie. I was there when he died. I held his hand. I watched him die.
Corey's testimonial video remains on Goodnow's website.
Because he's still a symbol of hope, because he actually defied the odds. His caregiver said he declined and died of ALS. All of Corey's improvements, all of the work that he put through to make himself better was all bullshit. That's what you're saying to me right now. You're saying Corey is a lie. You're saying that man's effort, you are basically pissing on his grave, Jeff. And it's really, really disturbing to me.
What Caulfield finds disturbing is that a facility like this is allowed to operate in Canada, seemingly without oversight.
We absolutely need to have the regulatory mechanisms, the policy levers to stop this kind of thing.
Goodnow's not a medical doctor, so he's not under the jurisdiction of the College of Physicians and Surgeons. But Health Canada has weighed in. It says Goodnow's plasmalogens have not undergone the required safety testing. It says a recent investigation found that his company had been importing, advertising, and selling unauthorized natural health products here in Canada. Now, Health Canada says in a follow-up conversation, Goodnow's company has agreed to change its ways. Goodnow says it was all just a misunderstanding. He says while companies can't import these products, individual customers are allowed to bring in a limited supply for themselves. He says he and Health Canada have a great relationship. Jeff Sando is now back in California with his family. He says he used Goodnow's plasmalogens faithfully for months.
But after 5 months, it seemed like it was picking up pace, not slowing down.
Jeff says the friends he made at the Moose Jaw Center tell the same story.
Everybody had declined pretty significantly.
So how documented is that decline? Okay, do they have evidence of their decline, or is it just their opinion? And we do document every single person that comes through our center. Okay? They leave that center better than they came in. Okay? And that's just simply a fact.
This whole thing has been a roller coaster for Jeff Sando. He began with such hope.
I thought I was going to come home and walk up those stairs from my garage in here.
You want some beer?
Now he's being cared for by his wife and adult children. He said he spent all that time and money in the hopes that it was an investment.
Instead of 2 years with my kids, I would have 15, 20 years with my kids. So. Yeah. And get to see my grandchildren. Be able to walk my daughter down the aisle. I don't know if I'll get to do any of those. Sorry.
In June, Saskatchewan's ALS Society called on the province's health authority to investigate Goodnow's restorative health business. Well, the government says the facility is outside its jurisdiction. Critics say that is all the more reason to explore new legislation so that such centers would come under government purview. Well, coming up in our moment, a record for the books. Well, that is Hellcat Jaffertovi at an Ottawa gym as he was attempting to break a world record. So listen to this goal. Most steps on a StairMaster in 24 hours, and he pulled it off. Tonight, his record-setting resilience makes our moment.
I
sounds like a little bit crazy, but I mean, you just got to take it one step at a time. I essentially did the most steps on the StairMaster in 24 hours. I finished with 111,000, and I forget the last number, maybe 285 or something like that. It was just like such a mental battle. I was just like, I gotta get, this is it right here. This is like as bad as it gets. After that, you still had like, 6-7 hours left of it. But we ended up raising around $7,000 or so for the Boys and Girls Club. I used to be an alumni, and growing up as a refugee, and we were, we didn't have much money, and support communities like that were absolutely massive for us. So being able to give back and for it to come full circle, having a positive impact, I felt like it was my purpose.
That's amazing. So not only did he break the record, he broke the record with half an hour to spare, so at least he could get off that thing. Congratulations. And from all of us here at The National, thanks for being with us. I'm Adrienne Arsenault. Take care.